calls. What's up, player? Who's calling?
Tariq, Nasheed. My name is Kilo.
Kilo,
How you doing, sir?
Where you calling from, Kilo?
I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
What's going on? What's on your mind today, Kilo?
Man, I was just calling to thank you for, all the Mac scriptures you've written. Man, I've upped my game big time, and now I have a dime piece in my, I'm a one-man woman now.
There you go, man. I appreciate that.
I just want to thank you, because I remember, I've been reading your books for like 5-6 years now.
Okay.
And, I put some stuff into practice. A lot of times, I went overboard with checking women.
Uh-oh. Now you sound, Kilo, you sound African. Are you African?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because y'all don't play when it comes to checking women. Y'all go real overboard sometimes. So I know you had to balance that out. Y'all start beating a chick with a bamboo stick. Y'all do not play. My God. Well, you take off that kente cloth and choke a bitch. My God. So you got your nice little dime piece now. How long you been dating her?
About 6 months now.
That's good, man. Congratulations. She treating you right?
Man, she's on point, man. She everything. And, I use your blueprint thing. She's like 100, 110 right now.
That's
man.
What's up, man. You got them standards high, man. I love it, man. And you African brothers, a lot of African brothers keep their standards pretty high because, there's a balance in your relationships back home. They have the dominant father, the obedient mother, so you guys have that ingrained in your DNA.
Exactly. So you know what you're talking about, man.
Oh man, I'm 100% there with you, man. When I come down to Atlanta, man, we got to hook up and go spit a little game at them. You dig what I'm saying?
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, bro.
All right, take it easy. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna chop up some game right now. Let me get into some real good game. Let me get into today's topic. Now, like I said, today's topic is why you ladies are so confused. Why are women so confused? And we have to acknowledge that a lot of women today, they don't know their asses from a hole in the ground. A lot of women are very confused. They don't know what they want. They say they want a thug, but he's too hard. They say they want a nice guy, but he's too soft. They say they want a businessman, but he doesn't have enough swagger. They say they want swagger, but the guy with too much swagger doesn't have enough class. So a lot of women out here in general are very confused. They have no idea what they want. And the problem is a lot of women are mad at men and they're blaming men for their own confusion. That's where the major problem is. Because women have been taught over the last 40 years that you're independent, that you're equal, and you can do just as much as a dude, blah, 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 blah. And I agree with some of that to a certain degree, but a lot of women have been given free reign to do whatever they want to do, so to speak. And with this so-called freedom, women don't know what to do with it. So it creates an air of confusion. You give somebody too much leeway, they don't know what to do. Some people need direction. Me, at the risk of sounding like a chauvinist, I know it sounds chauvinistic, but let's have some real talk right now. And I've said this before, man, women, ladies, you guys are emotionally driven. Women are driven by emotions. That is a fact. We all acknowledge that. Women know that. And emotions are fickle. Emotions change every single day. Emotions change like the weather. Certain things can alter your emotions, ladies. Certain hormones can alter your emotions. You can watch a movie and that will totally alter your emotions for the next couple of days. So emotions are very fickle, and if you're a person who is driven by emotions, your whole demeanor can change and flip at any moment. And women need a ground wire. See, that's where the men are supposed to come in, because men, we're supposed to have a constant mentality. We're supposed to have a constant stilo. I mean, we have different emotions as well, but we're grounded. We're supposed to be. That's usually the measure of a man, how grounded he is. how he can intellectualize certain things without getting emotional about it. That's always been the test of a man throughout time. So the thing is, we have a lot of women who are confused, and we have a lot of single women out here who are confused, who need to get with a man to give them some type of direction. Now, I know that sounds old-fashioned. But see, women, you are a reflection of the dude you're with. No matter how much you try to deny it, you are a reflection of the dude you're with. Whatever dude you're around, you're going to take on this dude's ideology. You're going to take on this dude's faggotry if he's a punk. You're going to take on his moistness if he's a moist dude. If he's a strong dude, you're going to take on some of those strong characteristics. If he's a crackhead, you're going to take on some of his crackhead characteristics. Look at Bobby and Whitney. But you are a reflection. Even if you are the leader in the relationship, you will become a reflection of that dude. Because we have little natural energies and enzymes within us. See, the man represents the sun, the woman represents the moon. And the moon always revolves around the sun. So you're going to revolve around this dude and get pulled in by his gravitational energy and become what he is. You're going to become a reflection of that. Because the moon is a reflection of the sun, no matter what no matter how you slice it, no matter what position you put it in, the moon is only a reflection of the sun. So whatever bum-ass nigga you're around, ladies, you're going to become a reflection of that. And I'm talking in general. Women all across the board these days are confused. Now, black women, which I got a lot of black female listeners, and I know you're listening in. Black females in America, black American females, they're beyond confused. Like white, Asian, Mexican, a lot of those women are confused. Black women are beyond confused. Black women are lost. This generation, I'm not talking about all of them, this particular generation here in 2009 of the dating age are absolutely lost. I know a lot of you are saying, oh, not me, goddammit, I'm not lost. There are exceptions to the rule. Some people are born with 6 fucking toes. There's always exceptions to the rule, but generally, the sisters are lost. The difference between lost and confused is when you're standing in one spot and you can't figure out which direction to go in. You're lost when you have gone the opposite direction and you're just going to keep going down the opposite path. That's when you're lost, and that's where sisters are. Sisters have taken all the wrong roads and hell-bent on going down them wrong roads. They're too stubborn to turn around and get the right directions. Sisters are like, when somebody says, how do I get to Oakland from Los Angeles? If somebody tells sisters, take the 5 freeway north, all the sisters will take the 5 freeway south and keep on going, looking for Oakland on the 5 freeway south. They're seeing Mexicans, Brazilians, people from Honduras, and they still are trying to get to Oakland on the 5 south. That's the state of the black female community right now, this generation. So sisters, in particular, you're going to have to let go of the stubbornness. See, the thing is, sisters have not let go of the stubbornness. They on that stubborn shit where we know everything. You don't want to admit you're wrong. It's all the dude's fault. But ladies, you're confused. It's time to ask for directions. I'm sick of y'all sending me these goddamn emails and these letters talking about I'm dating this dude just out of jail. I'm trying to change him. Which I don't even want to answer shit like that no more. I answered shit like that in 2002 or 2003 when my book Player Be Played came out. Go get my book Player Be Played. I like to advance the game. See, you guys need to be on another level in the game. You guys are still on the intermediate part of the game. I'm trying to teach geometry. You guys are still on basic math. Just like my dudes. My dudes are growing, though. My guys are evolving a lot. I give that to them. Because the new book that I have coming out in a couple of months, this shit is like geometry. The Art of Mackin and the Mac Within. The Art of Mackin was basic math. The Mac Within was algebra. This is rocket science, this new shit that I got coming. But see, the ladies are still on the basic math, man. Ladies are a little more stubborn because, see, in society, you get more of a cushion to be stubborn, to be in denial. See, men, we can't be in denial about too much stuff, especially with dealing with women. You're in denial too much. Them child support checks start kicking in. That shit'll bring you right back to reality. You fuck around with one of these females and a nigga done tied you up and duct taped your ankles together and took your drugs, reality kicks in. So dudes, no matter what you do, especially black men, you gotta deal with reality. We don't have the wherewithal or the cushion to fantasize and be in denial about shit, because we're reminded every day of how real this game is. So we have to make real, calculated, tactful decisions every day. And sisters, ladies, you're going to have to start making those tactful decisions as well. And again, and I'm not shitting on the sisters. It's just this particular generation. It hasn't always been like that because, see, generations change up every 10 years, really. In the 1950s, people were generally very conservative. And in the 1960s, it was very radical. It was riots, people fighting for civil rights. The 1960s were a very violent decade. Then the 1970s came around, and that was the opposite of that. Everybody was having an orgy in the 1970s. It was just sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Everybody was fucking and getting high in the 70s. It was one big goddamn orgy. Then in the early part of the 80s, it got a little bit conservative again. Ronald Reagan came in. Everything was real conservative during the early 80s. Everything, like the music was conservative. You know, niggas was all moist and everything was goody two shoes. And then when the late 80s, early 90s came in, that's when the gangster shit popped off. That's when the crack had really peaked. So the social consciousness had shifted again. And in the 90s, everybody was on some gangster shit. Now in the 2000s, the dudes are getting off the gangster shit. They kind of morphing into this moist metrosexual bullshit, which is what I talked about in the last show. And the ladies that we have now, we have these ultra hoochie hood rat motherfuckers that are not the business. But I think the next generation is going to be much better, because this generation of sisters that we have now are just not the business. So the next generation has to be better, because I think we have better role models now. For the last like 15, 20 years, there hasn't really been no bomb-ass female role models. We've had Oprah, but for a lot of young women, a lot of young women don't really relate to her like that. See, the women that we have, or women that we had like back in the 90s and the 2000s, we had like Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, video hoes. A lot of women in this generation were raised off booty shaking videos. They were raised off video hoes getting prominence. So this is why we have so many young sisters on YouTube shaking their ass with babies in the background. Just not the business. So this next generation will definitely get better. Mark my words, around 2015, the sisters are going to be the shit again, because we have positive role models. See, black girls now have Michelle Obama to look up to. You have those cute little girls in the White House to look up to, and little boys have Barack Obama to look up to. So we're getting better. I think the next generation will be much better. It will be the antithesis to this generation. And plus, they're going to start weeding out, and they're already doing it. They're weeding out that government assistance shit. And that's been another problem to create this ignorant ass hood mentality that we have right now. And I go real deep into that in the show I did called The Culture of Ignorance, which you guys have to check out. You got to go to maclessons.com and check out the Culture of Ignorance pay-per-view special I did, and I go real deep into that. But like I said, around 2015, the sisters are going to be the shit again. Like they were in the 60s. In the 60s, sisters were the shit. Sisters were ride or die in the 60s, boy. You had the Angela Davis, Coretta Scott King. Sisters was the shit, man. But then they start passing out them checks, and y'all fell the fuck off. But I digress. But like I said, women, you are very confused right now, so you really have to choose a dude who's a ground wire. You really have to be a good listener. Ladies, it's time for your asses to listen. You need to find a man that you can listen to. And men out there, stop following these confused ass women. The problem is a lot of guys are trying to conform to a lot of these women's confusion. Women don't know what they want. I got a letter from a guy the other day. He was talking about this woman that he was kind of sort of dating. She wanted to get serious, but when he got serious, she started talking to some of her ex-boyfriends, and then when he threatened to leave, she wanted to act right. Man, fuck that. Stop negotiating with these women. I've been saying that on the last few shows. Stop negotiating with these women. Don't conform to their confusion. Don't be cutting little deals with them and negotiating and lollygagging. They're going to act right or you're going to bounce. It's that simple. It's impossible to conform to somebody's confusion. And that's the problem. A lot of you guys are being led by women. They're the ones leading the relationship and your dumb ass is following her around. She don't know where she's going. Women instinctively look for guidance from a dude. I've said this a million times. Fuck all that independent shit they talk. Yeah, let them talk that, but just tell them to shut the fuck up. Yeah, they're going to talk all that. I don't need a man. I mean, all of them are going to say that shit. Just shut the fuck up and listen. Start telling them to listen. If they're going to listen, cool. If they're not going to listen, you bounce until they're ready to listen. It's that simple. You're not going to conform to women's confusion, fellas. Stop it right now. A lot of women are confused. You're hanging around because you want some pussy. So you'll sit up and listen to her confused hypocrisy going around in circles. Fuck that. Women, if you find a dude who has that boss-ass mentality, listen to him. Shut your ass up. See, that's what the sisters miss out on that. See, the white girls, the Mexican girls, whatever, they're smart enough to know, okay, look, I'm a confused bitch, but I see this dude knows what he's talking about, so let me shut up and listen and be a good team player. See, sisters, y'all get stuck on that stubborn shit where you don't want to listen when you know the dude is right. But any female I deal with, especially if she's not a female who's doing bomber than me, she's not doing better than me, you really gonna have to listen. There was this one very, very smart doctor. I cannot think of his name right now. He's a, I think it's Ben. I can't think of this dude's name. He's a very smart author, doctor. And he's a very smart historian. And he was doing a debate. And they had him debating with these different people. And he said some of the slickest shit I've ever heard in my life. He was debating with this white woman about Africa. And she was like, trying to discredit a lot of African accomplishments, and she had this book that was just a real crock of shit. Her book was bullshit, but she was debating this brother, and they were like, "Doctor, are you ready for the debate?" He said, "Hold on." He said, "I only debate with my equals. All others I teach," and just shut her shit all the way down before he even went in on her. And that's the mentality you have to have, man. You debate with your equals. Everybody else you teach. Like if I'm kicking it with a woman and her shit is a little bit shabby, there ain't shit she can tell me. Nothing. If I'm with a woman and she's like, well, I think, you think nothing, bitch, you've been living in the same apartment since 1997. You listen. Well, I think we should do, you should think nothing. Bitch, you've been driving the same raggedy car your mama helped you get when you graduated. You listen. I'm not trying to hear what you got to say. The fuck out of here. Fellas, you got to have that same mentality too, man. It's a new millennium. Stop playing. That's been today's out. Y'all start beating the chick with a bamboo stick. Y'all do not play. My God. Well, you take off that kente cloth and choke a bitch. My God. So you got your nice little dime piece now. How long you been dating her?
About 6 months now.
That's good, man. Congratulations. She treating you right?
Man, she's on point, man. She everything, man. You know, I use your blueprint thing. She's like 100, 110 right now.
That's
man.
what's up, man. You got them standards high, man. I love it, man. And you African brothers, a lot of African brothers keep their standards pretty high because, you know, there's a balance in your relationships back home. You know, they have the dominant father, the obedient mother, so you guys have that ingrained in your DNA.
Exactly. So you know what you're talking about, man.
Oh, man, I'm 100% there with you, man. When I come down to Atlanta, man, we got to hook up.
I'm a one-man woman now.
There you go, man. I appreciate that.
I just want to thank you, you know, because I remember I've been reading your books for like 5-6 years now.
Okay.
And, you know, I put some stuff into practice. A lot of times, you know, I went overboard with checking women.
Uh-oh. Now, you sound, Kilo, you sound African. Are you African?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because y'all don't play when it comes to checking women. Y'all go real overboard sometimes. So I know you had to balance that up and go spit a little game at them. You dig what I'm saying?
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, bro.
All right, take it easy. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to chop up some game right now. Let me get into some real good game. Let me get into today's topic. Now, like I said, today's topic is why you ladies are so confused. Why are women so confused? And we have to acknowledge calls. What's up, player? Who's calling?
Tariq, Nasheed. My name is Kilo.
Kilo,
how you doing, sir?
Where you calling from, Kilo?
I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
What's going on? What's on your mind today, Kilo?
Man, I was just calling to thank you for, you know, all the Mac scriptures you've written. Man, I've upped my game big time, and now I have a dime piece in my